Okay, so this mess is the inside of the drive cabinet, just to give you an idea of where we're at. There's the drive motor under test. Those power wires feed into this thing here. Comes into this. All right, so what do we got? So up here in the top right is the brains of the operation. It's called the AMDC, the Advanced Motor Development Controller, something like that. It connects with Ethernet and USB, goes out the cabinet, and that's those wires running there. How I program it and issue it commands. I guess let's just take a step back. That's powered by this guy. These are all my little power supplies that power the low voltage and the low power portions of this drive. So that guy comes down, powers this. This thing takes measurements and sends signals to the various parts of this drive. So this is a measurement board. We've got different types of measurement cards that are on here that measure different parts. This guy here is a high voltage measurement card. These are all low voltage, and these really are connected to various current sensors, these blue guys, that measure current. So current, and current are all measured by those. This is the voltage of it's called the DC link, which is the DC voltage that goes into the drive. These three measure the phase current of the motor, and this measures the DC link current. That guy. That's the measurement board. It's powered by one of these. This guy sends signals to this, which are large electronic power switches. So this is really what controls my motor drive. Got a couple of fans up there that are powered by these power supplies, and they blow air over these heat sinks that are underneath this whole apparatus. So this is a three-phase power inverter. There are three-phase outputs and a DC. You can see the red and the black cords on here. So it's DC in to three-phase AC out. And it does that through 6 switches. Those large switches are commanded by this thing, and they get turned on and off 20,000 times a second. And they regulate. So from that, doing the switching, this measuring the current, this determines how long and how short those switches should be, and that's how I regulate current out of those 3 phases, which interface with my motor. So that's the inverter drive. This guy is my DC link buck switch. So it's a little bit simpler than this. It's only got 1 input and 1 output. And what it does is it attaches here to the DC link, and it takes that DC power and then it switches a resistor that gets connected there. That's that guy, great big resistor. And so it takes power away from the DC link and out to the resistor where it gets dumped out as heat. So we have 3-phase power coming into the inverter, which this guy measures and processes and figures out to do some control stuff with. And then that power gets put onto this DC link. That DC link feeds down here, gets measured there and measured here, and gets processed, and then this guy switches on and off to determine how much power goes out to the resistor to keep a constant voltage on that DC link. This thing here is a little fail-safe board to make sure the voltage doesn't go too high. And we have some large fans on either end of this that, when all sealed up, keep the airflow going through the whole system, keep it nice and cool. And that's the generator drive.